Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the 10K to $2 million funding challenge with Venator Trading. It is Monday, November 13th, 7 a.m. New York time. And we're live Monday through Friday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you got to get out, do something fun, hang out with all of your family, your friends, touch some grass, as the kids say these days. It was a wet and rainy weekend here in Houston. Just enjoyed some time with my in-laws and my wife and a couple friends. Just hung out, really didn't do much. But good to be back on the charts. Mondays, a lot of people hate going to work on Mondays, and traders can't wait for Mondays to get here. We love literally being on the charts as much as we can. So I do have a pound dollar set up active right now. I posted it on the Discord. And it's off of this 15-minute breaker right here. Coming back from Thursday, we ran these highs. We displaced through. It's come back up and filled in this whole fair value gap, and it's stopped right at it. That breaker hasn't touched that breaker yet. I am anticipating a run up into and a possible fulfillment of this full 4-hour fair value gap. And I think we're going to see some pound weakness this week. So far, we've opened, barely put in a bottom wick. I mean, by like a half a pip of a wick. I definitely don't think the low of the week is in. And I think we're going to be heading down into this very first fair value gap here on GBP USD. And I still think we're going to be heading down here a little bit lower. I still am bullish on the dollar. I still think we're going to be heading up into the 108 area, taking out let's see, where are we? For sure taking out last week's high and getting up at least into this order block and fair value gap. I still think long-term we're heading up on the dollar. Here on pound, you can see we've tapped right up into this 4-hour fair value gap, which is also a breaker. This is the last down close candle. Really, I guess you could say this one is, but this is the last down close candle that we ran buy side liquidity on right here, and then we displaced lower. So we're coming back up into that 4-hour breaker here, and that's where we've got the sell limit. I just want to see New York pop up into this hourly fair value gap, into this, again, this little either 30-minute breaker. I like the 15-minute. I think it looks the cleanest. 2 minutes. Run buy side, displace lower. I would like to see it get right back up there. Right before we got on the stream, we had a little push right here. Right here, we had a little push. Almost got tagged in, and it ran right up to it and then fell away. Did not give us an entry. So that kind of sucks. Thought we might get it right before the stream hit, but we didn't, and now it's just falling away here. Euro dollar, similar. We're expecting weakness here, and you can already see it starting to sell off. It's run right back up into this order block, into this fair value gap. And you're starting to see some sell off here, and I would anticipate some more. Might get we'll see what happens, but we might get a opportunity to, maybe the high's already in here on euro dollar. Oh, excuse me. Taking out buy side, starting to displace through. So we'll see what setups show up. Maybe a breaker setup here into, we've run. So here's London. We come down. We tapped into buy side. We're starting to displace through. So we'll look for maybe a potential pullback here in the sell. I'd like to see one more dig up into that, though. It's unfortunate if that pound dollar did not get triggered in. What else are we looking at? from last week, everything is still pretty much the same as I anticipated. Just looking for, you can see pound dollar running down into this 4-hour fair value gap and starting to find support off of it now. Yep. This is my bias. Still holding to my strong dollar bias. I haven't really wavered off of that. We did have a little bit of a retrace here. After this big run up, accumulation, we had manipulation down quickly through the sell side, and now we're back up into the range we're anticipating. At least all of these down candles right here to get rebalanced. Volume imbalance, fair value gaps up above here. So even if we don't take out these highs, I still think we're going to be bullish up into this area here. But I do think we're going to take that out. Oh, man. Nice. This candle opened. This hourly candle has opened, and we've just seen a complete collapse. No retrace at all here. Just waiting to see where I would want to, if I was going to look for a euro short, it would just be off. I would need to identify which one of these last down close candles before we run buy side, potentially up in here. So if we continue to get displacement lower, it's pulled back down into the opening gap currently. Oh. We'll see how this works out. These are the last. So we've had this accumulation right here. Last down close candle, big. The body close was below this one. Then we run buy side, run it once more, fell to make a new high here, and we're displacing lower. We'll see if we leave behind a nice fair value gap here to work with potentially. For the news this week, today is a pretty quiet day on the news front. Really not much going on. But then we have CPI tomorrow. That's going to be obviously I mean, maybe there might be something after CPI, but I would probably just not even, if it weren't for the stream, we'll be on the stream to watch how CPI reacts, but I'm probably not going to be trading tomorrow, at least not any dollar correlated pairs for sure. Yeah, it's just, we know what happens with CPI. So probably not much there tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we've got more PPI numbers, retail sales, some manufacturing, month over month PPI. So Wednesday again, may not be the best trading day, at least for New York. There might be some London setups we could participate in. We'll see. I'll be obviously doing analysis going into the evening each night to see if there's any sell limits I want to place. Thursday, we have unemployment claims. I would probably wait until after those numbers hit on for the New York session. And then Friday, pretty light day. So we'll just chill and wait and see. We'll see what kind of price action everything wants to give us right now ahead of CPI. And I was really hoping to get in on that drop right there, and that we got swerved. Shock. I know you're shocked. I know everyone in the chat is completely shocked that we got swerved on an entry. I know. It's totally unlike us to be swerved. But yet here we are. Let me jump over and say good morning. LOL, what's up? Eight's going on. What's going on? Why are you starting the stream an hour late? Daylight savings here in the States. So we fell back 1 hour and picked up an extra hour in the day. So we're 1 hour later than we typically are from now until, I don't know, sometime in March or April. What's up, Mr. Alfie? Cisco, what's going on? There's some lag today, huh? Oh man, everything looks good on my stream. I'm not sure if you guys are still having lag or not. Did I miss anything in the intro? Nothing in the intro. Something just YouTube being weird. I've had to restart the app on my phone before to fix lag. Me too. Not sure what's going on. If you guys are still getting lag, let me know in the chat. Everything seems to be fine on my end. Let me see what's going on. I'm going to run a little speed test here on my end to see what's going on, see if there's any, see I'm getting 420.8 down, and I'm getting 371 up. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but everything seems to be working. What's up, Red? Good morning. Spoke too soon. I don't know what's going on with the lag, guys. Everything on my end looks like it's working really, really well here, but is it YouTube? Is it YouTube? Maybe it is. I don't know. Not really sure. So on my phone, it is a little bit laggy. On my desktop, it seems to be working really well. So I'm not sure what's going on with the stream today with the all the settings. I would hate to restart and have to have a whole separate stream up, but if that's what we have to do, we may have to do that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. On my phone, it is very laggy, but on the desktop that I'm streaming on, I have another monitor going, and everything is working really well. So I'm not sure. Streamlabs is up. Streamlabs is capturing. I wish there was a way. I guess maybe you could see. Maybe there's something I could see that would let you. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. Maybe it's the mobile app. Maybe it's a mobile app issue if you're watching on your phone. Because all of my things are. Let me try the app one more time. That video works. That video works. Alpha says the stream is fine, no lag. So for some reason on my phone, it can start the stream, but then it runs a couple seconds and then it gets really laggy. But on the desktop, everything is working fine. So maybe it's an app issue. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to. I don't know what to make of all that. Maybe use the desktop. All right, here we are into the next 15-minute candle. We'll see how this candle reacts and responds to these areas here, and then we'll look to see if there maybe is a potential sell here on euro dollar. Pound dollar did not get the same displacement through. We've ran sell side, and now we're getting displacement higher here on dollar. We'll see if it wants to hold these highs or not. Retest. We'll find out. Gold drew down right into our daily fair value gap. We were anticipating a run down into this 4-hour order block. It actually is traded below that. It hasn't closed below there. We haven't had a body closure below that 4-hour order block. I would anticipate a little bit more gold weakness here, potentially filling in that entire fair value gap. Your next draw on liquidity, this order block right here, this daily order block right here, we'll see how price wants to respond around that daily order block right there. Obviously, right below that is another fair value gap. We've run buy side liquidity. We'll see how aggressively it wants to move back below here, or if it wants to begin to move higher. I would think it wants to come lower. It may want to pop back up into this daily order block, this bearish order block right here, this up close candle. May want to come back up into that today or tomorrow. And then we see lower prices, maybe the high of the week somewhere up in here. Let me see where that was. Just below. So maybe up into this fair value gap here, maybe a little bit higher. There's a smaller one right above it. Maybe gold wants to push back up into that, and then we see more weakness down into these levels here. Bitcoin's still looking for sells. I still think Bitcoin is going to sell off here. And anybody that's trying to buy Bitcoin right now, I feel sorry for them a little bit. A little bit I do. I still think we're gonna sell off. I still think we're probably coming back down into these lows, into the 24 to 26 area, somewhere down in here, maybe even lower in that 24,000 level totally underneath these lows. I know this is a big push up. This is trapping buyers left and right on the Bitcoin buying frenzy. And it's just rebalanced. It's pulled back up into this. We've run buy side liquidity here, and I think we're going to see a sell off. I just am going to wait until I can see some type of lower time frame shift, either on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, or some kind of. You've had run of liquidity here. You're starting to get displacement away. Yeah, I'm just waiting for an opportunity to sell that. GJ, yen has reached all-time, or at least weekly weakness against the dollar, 1 year low against the dollar. You've got some buy-side liquidity. I've always said I don't want to be selling the yen pairs right now, but they're just so weak. Very big daily fair value gap here that we left open. Obviously got some draws on liquidity here to the top side with old highs. Pound Aussie, we're just in this big chop range right here on the daily time frame. This weekly fair value gap tapped into it once, twice, and is held as resistance. So if we push back up into that, I would again expect there to be some more resistance there for Pound Aussie if we get up that high. Weekly time frame, you can see the consolidation a little bit better here. But we're just moving sideways in this tight range right now on Pound Aussie. So don't really have a good, strong, clear where is this headed long term. If you want to trade this on the short term, I would look for displacement, accumulations, manipulations, and then displacements. So whether that's grabbing sell side liquidity and displacing higher, or if it's grabbing buy side and displacing lower, I'm probably more inclined to say let's just wait on Pound Aussie until, if it wants to creep back up into this level, let's wait and see if it grabs buy side liquidity up in here, and then you get displacement away, and then you could trade back down into the other end of the range. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, we've grabbed buy side liquidity, we've displaced away, so we've had this quick run up, we've had quick run down, we're coming back up into a fair value gap here. There's some obvious volume imbalances, a little bit higher on the buy side. I don't think it needs to come all the way back up there. You can see it's pushing back up to refill this inverted fair value gap here with a regular bearish fair value gap here. It's pushed back up into it. On the weekly time frame, this is what that looks like. Run of liquidity, displacement away. So you would anticipate, if the dollar is going to be bullish, you would anticipate some Aussie weakness there. And in light of that, we could look for any runs of liquidity into this area if we get displacement lower on these lower time frames. You might be able to participate in that sell-off into these lows. You've run this buy-side liquidity here. On the 15-minute time frame, I guess you would be waiting for some displacement below this level. At least this candle here, which you did not get yet. This is the last down close candle before we ran buy side. We started to displace, but we have fell to violate that order block there. This is a bullish order block until it's violated. Once it's violated, it becomes a breaker, and then you identify where your fair value gap might be there. Coming in, this 15-minute candle's about to close. This is going to leave behind a nice fair value gap here on euro dollar. Right back up in, if we got to pull back up into this order block, into this fair value gap, potentially up into that breaker, we might be able to get a sell opportunity off of that. If you just use the high of the day, it's 13 pips, and you're kind of an aggressive ask here for euro dollar. Basically, you're looking to take out Friday's low on Monday. I mean, potentially you could. Your open, your true market open was right here. The open pushed up, and now we've come back down below the midnight open there. I think I would want to use the bodies of these candles here. 13 pip stop, and I doubt it would get that low today, quite honestly. I mean, it might, but I think that's what I would be looking for on euro. I would leave this in place for pound. I would leave that order in place for pound, I think. See if anything's still going on. It looks like the stream is still laggy on my phone for some reason, but the desktop is working perfectly. So I'm not sure. Don't know what's going on with that. All right, I'm going to set this euro dollar trade up right here. I'm going to leave the GU in place as well, but we're going to set up this euro dollar trade. And let's see, we're going to drop some lines there. Get this set. So I'm looking for a 06837 pull back into that area there. And my stop above the bodies of that candle right there-ish. All right. So the actual numbers are 06836 and 069 0.73 and 0.6551. So there's my euro dollar limit order. I'm going to copy that, put that into the the Discord. Well, we'll see if we get the pullback into that area there. Probably as this 4-hour candle closes. We got an hour and a half on this 4-hour candle. So as this 4-hour candle closes, wherever it does close, the next 4-hour candle would open, hopefully put in a top wick and then fall off. Pound dollar, we did not get the displacement through any of these lower candles here. So we'll see how that plays out as well. But I'm going to leave the pound dollar order in place where it is right now until we get displacement lower to say we've had a shift in structure, a break of structure, and then a change. I'm going to wait. I'm going to leave that order in place right there. So we've got a pound dollar order and we've got a euro dollar order in place. Both of these are breaker setups in line with the traditional Venator stream strategy. Chat's quiet today. I'm guessing it's because we're having some stream issues. If you're not watching on a laptop, you're probably getting lag, and I don't know why. I don't really know why that's happening. DeVilliers, welcome in, man. First time here seems fine. Well, that's good. I'm glad everything is working out. It looks like at least somebody can see it and it's working well. Just started a new challenge today. Well, congratulations, man. What size challenge are you doing, and who are you using for your challenge? Which firm are you using? A 50K bespoke, a 50K TFT, and funding pips 10K to test them. So 3 challenges. Impressive, man. I have not done any challenges with funding pips. I'm thinking about maybe doing one with them. I have heard some really good things about funding pips. I don't know anything else about them. Of course, this stream is sponsored by Bespoke Funding, which is my favorite firm, obviously, since they're partnered with us here on the stream. Highly recommend them, of course. And you can use that discount code Venator, or you can use the affiliate link in my YouTube bio if you want to pick up a new challenge. The discount code Venator gets you 15% off and an 85% lifetime profit split. Sometimes they're running. Sometimes they run discounts that are a little bit better than that, depending on what you're looking for. But everything we do here on the stream is for free. So if you use that code, it does help support the stream and keeps everybody happy. Onsub, good afternoon. George Tucker says, no issue here, but watching on desktop. Alpha Bridge, I'm managing 4 live trades on M1, so I can't focus on stream right now, but the stream is still fine. No lag on notebook. Four trades on the 1 minute, buddy. Wow. Cisco says funding pips seem good, but also not actually used them yet. I've not used them. Their prices are pretty good, especially for the 10K accounts. I think it's like $60 for a 10K account. Excuse me. Just looked at funding pips. 100K challenge is only $3.99. Very cheap compared to other firms. Yeah, they're kind of running a model where it's on the cheaper end for most of their challenge fees. I think their max funding is only 100K, maybe 200K. But I think they kind of market towards those people that are always looking for those cheap, smaller challenges. But I mean, that's fine. It's a fine business model to have. But they do not have a large maximum allocation. I think that's the one downside, is that their max allocation is pretty low. But I mean, when you're talking, even if you got a 100K account and you could pull down 2 or 3%, 4% a month, you're still making several $1,000s every single month off an account like that. So. There was a nice $11 top. I saw the Top Step, and I meant to go do one on Saturday. I remembered somebody saying it, and I saw a tweet about it, and then I got busy just hanging out with other people, and I forgot to go get the $11 50K Top Step account for Veterans Day sale they had going on. So I missed that opportunity. Generally, UK bespoke or UAE companies, FPIPs or funding engineer are the safest, considering the MyForex funds issue. Yeah, I think bespoke's great. I don't know who else. And I think bespoke's actually incorporated in multiple different jurisdictions. So I think bespoke's set up just fine and will be around for a while without any issues. Funding pips, I don't know. I guess they're in the UAE. Funding engineer. Funding engineer, I've looked at it too. They're a very interesting firm as well. Max funding is 100K. So I thought it was kind of low. Funding Pips also has very low commission, $2. Really? Wow, $2 a lot. And I think Funding Pips also has 5-day payouts. So you can, every 5 days, or maybe I guess it's just weekly payouts, you could, if you make profits, excuse me. You could pull that out quickly if you want. Oh, more South Africans in. Welcome in, guys. I think our African continent is has a pretty good showing in the stream every day. A few from Asia, a few from Europe and UK, and a few from the States to fill in the gaps. But the African continent is pretty consistently the main the majority of the stream viewers, I think. Well, at least the ones in the chat. I don't know how many people are watching. A lot of people watch and don't say anything. So, De Villiers says better to spread with all of them, and user trades connect a copy between them all. Oh. Says raw spreads on website. Raw spread, $2 lots, $3.99 for 100K. 5-day payouts is wild. Yeah, it is a little wild, man. You kind of got to wonder how sustainable those models are. But I guess the pricing is so cheap that they just anticipate a lot of return because you can just keep loading up accounts. When people don't have as much at risk on the challenge, psychologically, it's going to create a mindset where you're going to be more aggressive and you're not going to care as much if you lose the account. Versus, so if you have a 10K account and you spend $100 on it versus you spent $60 on it, $60 is like, oh, it's just a 10K. It's a $60 account. I got $60. I can load up another 10K. Let's just, full port this, or let's go on tilt, or, like you could have multiple accounts and you're just probably going to be more aggressive. So while someone who has a $100 10K account might trade a little more conservatively and take longer to either fail or pass a challenge, the cheaper the challenge is, the more aggressive the trading mindset will probably be, as there's just not very much monetary skin in the game. And so therefore the model's probably sustainable because people will just, they can just keep buying $60 10K accounts. And maybe they get lucky eventually and pass one. But their aggressive way of trading is probably going to end up biting them in the butt and benefit the company in the long term. That's just my take on it. T and Botha, that's a pretty good deal. Are you a Venator trading regular? Asks John. I won't say regular, but if I'm at my PC trading, I try and watch, but my second monitor broke, so can't really multitask. I think I've seen his name in the chat before, maybe a long time ago, but I think we've got quite a few lurkers that just watch a lot and they just don't participate in the chat very much. So there's regular watchers, and then there's the next level is regular watcher plus regular chatter, of which there's just probably maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 regular chatters, I think. Ben says, yeah, maybe they're thinking that profitable traders want more than 100K funding anyway, so they're targeting beginners with higher failure rate. But I mean, that's probably the ultimate mindset there. Black Friday around the corner, lots and lots of specials coming up. Yeah, at the end of the month, we've got Black Friday sales right after Thanksgiving holidays. There's probably going to be an opportunity to pick up a end of the year challenge. And a lot of times with these end of the year, a lot of times these companies in December they used to, when there were time limits, they used to extend your time limit by a couple of weeks. Because you're kind of reaching that point in the year with the holidays where everything just kind of starts not really moving super clean, and you just get a lot of consolidation as the year closes out and the new year's about to fire off. I thought I'd seen his name in here. OnSub says, I want EU to close below those previous lows at 106.66 before going back up. Cisco. Do you watch Top Step TV? Team Both, yes for Fire Drill. Team Both, I can't really follow what they trade. I like this stream because my strategy also goes around breakers, so I learn a lot. Very cool. Ben says, Q4 markets not living up to expectation this year. Yeah, seasonally not kind of following the same seasonal path that you typically find. Dunamis. I haven't seen Dunamis yet, John. Ben says the average daily range on EU has been about 40 pips. Yeah, that's why I was thinking this trade, even if it got triggered in on EU, asking it to move 30 pips in the New York session seems like a lot to me. So we'll see. I don't know. It was interesting to see that fair value gap here on pound dollar. Might potentially be a good selling position there, but euro dollar offering no opportunity to retrace here. And if it breaks down through these lows, we'd probably just cancel that order. Trying to see if I want to consider trying to take a sell here on Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar, what is the Aussie dollar spread on Think Markets? Oh, it's not bad. The one on 8cap is a lot wider. It's like only like 2 pipettes, so. All right, about 10 more minutes here until this hourly candle closes. And then we'll see quite an aggressive drop here on euro dollar. Will it be interesting to see if we get a pullback on the next hourly open? Back up into that. I would like to see it get back up into that fair value gap right there, obviously. DXY pull back into this fair value gap here. Yeah, this breaker. This isn't a breaker setup, but it is it's a different setup that I use. I'm not calling this out, but this is something I'm interested to see on Aussie dollar play out. What's up, Reggie? Welcome in. John says, T and Buffett, they fundamentally follow auction theory concepts like market profile and volume profile, as well as initial balance and opening range. Cisco says, if average is 40, that means plenty of days do more than 40 pips, so could still happen. Absolutely, it could. Tian says, I only learned ICT, so don't know much outside of it. Only been doing it for a year now, so I'm still pretty new. Going to try my Top Step Combine and see if I can pass it before the year end, but we'll see. So I only look at futures just because that's why I learned from. Very cool. What's up, Dominic? Welcome in. I'm doing good. Cisco, John can teach you about ICT. It's his favorite topic. Oh, Cisco's stirring the pot. Never mind. I just realized you said you've been doing it a year already. Only demo. ICT is gone, ladies and gentlemen. ICT has disappeared from social media. And I think the next time we hear from him will probably be later this afternoon. ICT taking quiet time. Yeah, he's, how many times has he disappeared? I think somebody put up a little quote, like they screenshotted all of the ones he said, I'm leaving forever, I'm never coming back. And then literally like 48 hours later, or maybe a week later, here he is. We'll see how long this one lasts. Will he make it to the end of November? What are the chances ICT makes it to the end of November without one tweet? What are the chances? I think they're low. I think it's very low. I'm not doing Robin's Cup, no. ICT busy coding the 24 algorithm. Yeah, he's going to the woodshed for the next 3 or 4 weeks coming up with new terminology and vocabulary that he can suddenly reappear in February with the 2024 mentorship YouTube series. That guy is awesome, man. This trading world would be so boring without ICT around. Trent is your friend, so I agree. Chances of him staying gone are low. Maybe the market makers have kidnapped again. He's been exposing too much of the truth. Yeah, they're going to take him out and give him a what for? Give him the new insight. This is how the markets are going to move in 2024, buddy. Go let everybody know. I just don't think he's wired for isolation. I mean, you look at the guy, his last Twitter space, what was it? I saw somebody tweet, it was like 6.5 hours of him saying goodbye. Geez, 6.5 hours. Who listened to him talk for 6.5 hours? Who listened to that guy talk for 6.5 hours? What were you doing if you were listening to him for 6.5 hours? The guy is not wired for isolation, and he's not wired for critique. So when he's gone, he's going to be scanning the social media world and YouTube channels, maybe even this one, and looking for what people are doing, what people are saying about him, because he can't help it. Like, that's just who he is. He needs to know what people are saying about him. And he will get to a point where eventually he's just going to have to be like, he's going to have to quote unquote prove himself again and come in and call out all the people who are trashing him or not teaching his concepts the right way. And he's going to have to come back. Like, he's not done. Let's be serious. We know he's not done. He's not wired for normal human interaction. I mean, that's one way to say it. Tian says, I had my birthday party. While you were listening to him, did you listen to him for 6.5 hours, man? He once said, you can use me to sleep. Can you imagine what his wife has to put up with, assuming he's married? I mean, he's posted some pictures. I've seen some pictures. It seems to be the same woman. All right, getting a little coming in here to the new hour open in about 40 seconds. So we'll see if we get any kind of pullbacks here. And if we do, I'll be potentially looking to sell the foreigns against the dollar here today. So we'll see what kind of pops we get up, if any. Doesn't he shout a lot? I mean, on his spaces, I've heard him lose his mind on some of his spaces. And I haven't listened to very many. But the ones I have listened to, like, there's been times where he's just absolutely, like, you can't even understand what he's saying, that he's yelling so loud. It's so distorted that you can't even all you hear is rage. You just know that this guy has just gone off the deep end on his temper tantrum, whatever it might be. Can you imagine what it'd be like if you were his son, daughter, assuming he has a son? I mean, his son's trading. His son has a Top Step account that he's trading. Cisco, not my idea of background noise for sleeping. Yeah, can you imagine trying to fall asleep and then the guy just goes into a rant, like just one of his. And I know he's bipolar, or at least he claims to be bipolar. But whew, the emotional swings that guy goes through are pretty intense. Ben says he literally has the complete wrong personality traits to be a trader. That's what makes me laugh. I know, dude is it's so crazy. You'll listen to him sometimes stream, or at least I used to listen to some of his streams, and he'd be super calm and chill and calling out, just reading price action and calling it all out live. And he's super calm. But then when he gets off, the dude literally, it's like Jekyll and Hyde, man. The guy that you hear on the spaces is not the same guy that you hear when he's sitting at the charts. People nowadays use horror movies to sleep. Interesting. Uh, LOL made him. Glad 8 was born in the 90s then. All right, into our new hour open here. We'll see if we can get any kind of pops up. I still have this pound dollar trade set, but I'm thinking about just selling anything back up into this fair value gap. And euro dollar, maybe anything back up into that fair value gap. Aussie, if we get a pop up above, if we get a pop up into that order block, I would think about selling that as well. Is there anyone on this channel who 100% believes in everything that carpetbagger is trying to tell you? 100%. I've never met anyone that is a full-fledged ICT cultist. I'm sure they're out there. But I've never met anyone on this stream. And I'm not, they may be, but that guy, yeah. I mean, you can't believe 100% of anything if anybody says. They're all human. Ain't nobody have divine revelation down here when it comes to the markets or literally anything in life. I think we should start a stream pot where everybody, I don't know how we would collect the money, but what are the everybody needs to throw out. Maybe I'll give away a 10K challenge to the person who guesses when ICT's next social media post will be. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe that's our 10K giveaway this week. When will ICT make another post? When will he be back on social media? When will be his very next post? It's probably going to be today, and it's probably going to be, do you miss me yet? If he hasn't already done that. I bet it's today, and I bet it says, do you miss me yet? Or need a dose. Do you miss me yet or need a dose? Which one? Which will be his first social media post, and when will it be? You can't win your own competition. I'm just giving you hints, so I don't know. Excuse me. Oh, John, you got to tell us about how the trip home this weekend with the boyfriend, your daughter's boyfriend. Anything interesting go down? I forgot that the boyfriend was coming home. Alfred says he's working on a book 100% and will be 5,000 pages minimum. It's going to be pretty epic, I'm sure. Dollar just offering no opportunity to pull back here. Just wanting to run pretty hard to those highs. It took about 3.5 years to become profitable. It took a while. Pretty much in line with what you hear most profitable traders say. Right around that 3 to 3.5 year mark. Most people will tell you it takes 3 to 4 years. If you got to stick with it, it's a long, arduous journey to reaching profitability. There are some that probably can do it faster. I'm probably just your average Joe, man. I'm nothing special, which is probably why it took me the same amount of time as it did most average people. John says, put these people in order of trustworthiness. From most trustworthy to least trustworthy. Ponzi, Madoff, catch me if you can, guy. Marco ICT. Jordan Belfort. Least trustworthy, Ponzi. I mean, the guy has an entire scheme named after him. So I got to put him at the most trustworthy first. Most trustworthy. I mean, just because I think he's so cool, I think Frank Abagnale is pretty freaking cool. That movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. Dude's genius. Is he trustworthy? Nah. But according to your list, he's just cool, so I'm going to put him at the top. I don't recognize the name, the Marco guy. Who's that? Why don't I know that name? I went to go cough and I forgot. So I was just saying he is a very cool guy, Frank Abagnale. Super cool dude. the stuff that he could pull off was pretty amazing. Like real life story stuff. Terrible, terrible lag. I don't know what's going on with the lag today, guys, because everything else is, I don't know. The desktop YouTube seems to be operating perfectly fine. But for whatever reason, the YouTube app is lagging really badly on the, it's doing it on my phone too. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't want to just restart everything right now, so. I don't know, maybe it's Streamlabs OBS or something, I don't know. But I don't know why the desktop would be working perfectly fine and why the app on the phone would not. I don't understand that part of it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Gonna short off the GU inverted fair value gap. I was thinking the same thing, Owen. I really kind of want to take the short. But if the dollar gives any kind of pullback here, GU is probably going to run up a little bit higher, which is why I'm kind of leaving my order in place. But this fair value gap right here and the inverted one that it got violated could be a nice sell position here. But I'm going to leave. I think I'm going to just leave my original GU. These nice relative equal highs it left behind right here, I think might want to get run and tapped into and off of that breaker that hasn't been touched yet. So I'm gonna hold that, but good luck on the inverted fair value gap. I do like that fair value gap right here. I think it could hold. This could be your push up, open the hourly open, push up, give a wick, and then sell that thing off. I'm gonna stick with my initial breaker order there. And if euro dollar wants to pull back into this fair value gap, it would line up with GU pushing up a little bit higher than it is right now. But not expecting much movement the rest of the day. Market awaits CPI tomorrow. It's yeah. I understand that logic, and it's not like I'm not buying into it. I've seen days where right before a CPI event, the market tries to price in where it wants to go. And so you get a pretty decent move right before the news day because the market's trying to position itself either to get in or out of position. So it's taking profits from the week prior. It doesn't want to be in the market before the move. And so people are selling or buying before the day of the news event, which could send price obviously higher or lower. So we'll see. How did I not spot those equal highs? Never mind. Well, don't just take my analysis for it, man. I mean, I don't want to talk you out of a trade if it fits your system. You know me. I'm always kind of like, hey, if the trade checks off your rules, you should take the trade. I think it's going to want to tap into those equal highs before it makes any kind of another pullback here. Dollar is just showing a lot of strength and hasn't offered any pullback. And so even in the face of a strong dollar, the pound is still going higher. So any pullback on the dollar, the pound will run up, I think, even more aggressively. Euro dollar, I had said if it takes out these lows down here, I would probably cancel this order. And it's almost down into that area there. on euro dollar. Almost completely filled in that fair value gap now on the 15-minute time frame. Still have about 9 more pips to entry on GU. See you, man. Thanks for being on the stream. John, so you were saying Frank Abagnale and Jordan Belfort is more trustworthy than ICT. I only said I didn't put Jordan Belfort on the list. I think he would be below ICT. Frank Abagnale, I only put at the top of the list just because of his cool factor. I think he's cooler than ICT. So that's why I put Frank Abagnale on the list. At the top. And then I'd probably put ICT. I don't think the guy is just a scammer. I don't think he's out here trying to scam people and con people. I do think that he has an incredibly big personality that probably overestimates. Like I think a lot of his popularity has gone to his head, and that doesn't necessarily make him not trustworthy, as much as it does just kind of arrogant, you know. So we're all broken people. We all have our faults and flaws. I don't think ICT is out here, like, again, I'll just say that. I don't think he's out here trying to scam people. I just think he likes himself a whole lot. On my laptop and restarted, not getting better. Honestly, can't hear much of what you're saying. Going to take off. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you, John. Have fun on the Top Step TV. I'm sure their stream won't have any issues. He isn't a scammer in the traditional sense, but he drastically overcomplicates his system so people are dependent on his videos and he gets ad revenue. Well, that doesn't make him a scammer. It just makes him a good marketer. It makes him understand how he knows how to monetize. He's figured out how to monetize without scamming people. So I don't necessarily think that makes him a scammer. Scamming is like you're trying to get people to give you money in an illegitimate way. And I've never gotten that sense that that's who he is or what he's about. Here's that dollar pullback. And you can see pound running up pretty aggressively here to grab those equal highs. Just, we're not triggered in yet. We're about to be on pound dollar, I think. Let me get over here and I'll let you know when we are. We're just about a half a pip away from those equal highs, and I do think they'll probably get tapped. At least I hope they do. We'll see. Dollar shows any more weakness here, we should get an entry. That's why he's always creating new models and adding to old models. Once you're relying on someone else's edge, you become a slave to their input. He's admitted to purposefully overcomplicating his methods before. An honest teacher would teach their concepts in the clearest, most concise, and easiest to understand way. It's because he needs this He needs this validation that he's smarter than everybody else. And so when he teaches in riddles and rhymes, it makes him appear to be smarter than everyone else. That he understands it in a way that only he can understand it. He's going to communicate it in a way that only the people, only the enlightened will be able to capture it and understand it, because they put the work in and they did what they were supposed to do and everyone else did not. So really, that if you're failing his methods, it's because you just haven't studied hard enough. And so there's that part of it that feels, kind of creepy a little bit, that when you put that much onus on the, obviously the results are independent and everybody should be responsible for their own thing. But he makes you feel like, I am going to make this, I'm going to speak in riddles and rhymes. I'm going to quote unquote hide the truth in plain sight by basically giving you all of this extra rants and theory, but the simple truth is in there. You just got to go dig it and find it, because he wants to appear to be this incredibly genius teacher and all of that kind of stuff. So that's the part that I don't like about his stuff. The 2022 YouTube mentorship was probably the cleanest and clearest, most simplified version of anything he's ever put out, without all of the rigmarole that usually goes into some of his videos and concepts, trying to understand them. So GU still not triggered in here. We just need one more little pop up to get triggered in. A friend of mine said that ISP in US is horrible nowadays. I think he is at Verizon, maybe some maintenance, who knows? I don't know. I don't know. The desktop is still just doing just great here. One more pop up is what we're looking for here, and we're just it seems like we're just not going to get it. I'm going to get swerved twice in one stream. I'm going to leave that order in place. I'm not going to change it. Euro dollar order is where it is as well. If we get that deep pullback, great. I might actually think about moving it down to this breaker here, this on the 30-minute time frame, which would move our entry maybe just a little bit lower. Potentially there. I'll just leave it. I'm going to leave everything where it was, which is 06836, 068. So right there. Kind of what we're looking at. And the stop was 06. Right there. I just really want it to get up and touch the bottom of that breaker, and then we'll get triggered in there. We're going to go for probably another 10, 15 minutes here. I'll get through this next 30-minute candle. See if we get triggered in. If we do, I'll take a screenshot and then I'll probably call it a stream call it for a day. Come back tomorrow to watch the CPI action. Hello, beautiful. Really need dollar to make one more dip down. Otherwise, I think we're gonna miss our entry again. I've not had any issues with lag still, and I'm on mobile in the UK, so it might be specific networks. Maybe that's what it is. Ben, do you ever market execute if price is hovering around your limit order? I do typically know if I've got a limit order, I want to get my price where I have it because I don't want to mess up with my stop loss and risk reward ratio to where I need them. Sometimes if I don't have a limit order set and I just like if I'm just opening a chart and I see a setup and I don't have time, like if price is at entry, sometimes I'll just take a market order right there. But typically I don't. Well, dang it. 2 more minutes and we'll get a new 30-minute candle. Maybe we'll take out those relative equal highs now 3 times. What's up, Dunamis? Welcome in. George says his no lagging. So I don't know. Maybe it's just something going on in the States with mobile lag for some reason. All right, we're gonna see if we get maybe on this 30-minute candle open, we can get one little push up. Clear out that buy side liquidity, and then let's just drop for the rest of the day, shall we? It would be my preference. We'll give her about 5 minutes. Oh, gosh. We're getting a drop on dollar, but pound's just not wanting to push up any higher there. Need dollar to come down back into these. I'd like to see it come back down into that breaker here. Maybe right in here. That would definitely get us triggered in, I think. Going to head off now. I got to go food shopping. Thanks for being here, Mr. Alpha. Yeah, I think we're going to call it a day too. It's a good spot to just head off for the Monday. So thanks for being here, guys. You guys have a safe day. Happy hunting for the rest of your trading day today. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. New York time. So stay safe, guys. I will update anything that goes with this trade on the Discord. So we'll catch you all tomorrow. Adios.